Hello, my name is Everett Pierce of Einstein 314. Now this is duly noted 16, and the topic is Abraham Lincoln, which is my previous life, as well as Albert Einstein. Now reincarnation does exist, and I could spend 1,000 lifetimes in so many areas, book after book after book after book, that supports of we hold these truths to be self-evident that reincarnation is inseparable to evolution. Now, on this first part, duly noted 16a, I'm going to elaborate more in terms of my quote. And this quote is in reference to, if I had 4 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend 3 hours sharpening my axe and 1 hour chopping down the tree. Now, this is in reference to many things. One, you could say it's in reference to the tree itself, because that is my task. Now, as Abraham Lincoln, I am the 16th President of the United States. I was assassinated in 1865 by John Wilkes Booth. Now, why would I say something of that sort? Why would anyone say anything? There is a hidden intentions. Is on this level of evolution, we are unable to communicate via thought. But we are also in the realms of transmitting via air, cell phone signals, and telephone signals, radio signals, frequencies. So we know that transmitting via what you can't see does exist. This evolution hasn't figured out how to communicate to others in that fashion. And in due time. So why would I say something of that sort? Now, if it's not in reference to the tree itself, my axe is a tool. Okay, in terms of the human race, it means everyone here, 7 billion people, give or take. Okay, you have many skill sets of your spirit. Your spirit controls the brain controls the body. So we have many skill sets. You chose the forbidden tree of good and evil, meaning good and evil, positive, negative. And of each side, it can be implemented constructively or destructively, no matter which side you're on. We have male and female. Okay, so the axe itself, as we know, which is like a razor that a male would shave with, that you wouldn't want to shave with a butter knife because it's not sharp. Okay, the symbolism behind the sword, what can be the sword? What can be your salvation can also be your destruction. Okay, that is why I used axe in reference to that. And as we know with anything, you sharpen it. Just like the samurai sword. You sharpen it. It's like razor blade. And we understand in this evolution, we understand sharpness. So in reference to your skill sets, like your speaking ability, verbal and nonverbal communications, the tones in which I'm saying, either I'm raising my voice up or taking it down, or taking my words and delaying them, or take my words real quickly. So how I communicate in the things I do in the physical realms of energy, your spirit operates in the subspace of space. Essentially, for the sake of understanding, in a non-physical realm of energy. You are acting in the physical realms of energy. It's to learn the laws and the foundation of energy, to understand these things. Now, on the sixth heaven here, known as the sixth heaven, also known as Earth, everything in your environment is geared specifically towards teaching people to be a leader of leaders. A leader of leaders. So, you are the leader of yourself, which is the symbolism of the cap on the head. Okay, so starting out in its smallest form, as I said, as Einstein. If you don't know something in its simplest form, you do not know it enough. I mean, it's quite obvious if you put it in a complex level. But if you reverse it, means something in its simplest form, mean you are a leader of yourself. Otherwise, if you're not a leader of yourself, then you have become a sheep. It means you're not thinking for yourself, you're not doing for yourself, among a lot of things. And that's why the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were brought about. You have what is quoted as unalienable rights. I have alienable rights. Much similar to the homeowner, and homeowner would be alienable. The people that come into his or her house as guests would be unalienable. So everything here, okay, what we know with capitalism, well, you have managers and district managers and all kinds of managers, supervisors. Well, they are put into these positions mainly because they know all the areas of that businesses or that business. So they facilitate everyone that's under there. And so in order to facilitate, you have to know all the different positions. And that's why they were put into that role, the label as supervisor or district manager. These are all labels that we use that tells us more information. So now, just simply from a sperm and an egg coming together, forming to be an infant to a child, in our development into child or adulthood, and in adulthood and beyond. So once you develop in the physical aspect of things, then it's the mental aspect of things. So when you become 18 and you say, I'm an adult. No, you are just starting out to be an adult. Just like that baby is just starting out to develop its body. And then it becomes an adult. Now you have to develop this, your body and your spirit. Now when I point to my head, my spirit controls the brain. So that's why you can have two identical people or triplets, and yet they are totally different. That is a telltale sign that there's something else at play that makes them so different. Otherwise, as like Xerox copy, if I put a copy here, it's an identical copy of it. So if in terms of cells, if you're a cells, S or CELLS, is if it was identical, then all three of them would move the same, talk the same. Okay, but they don't. That's telltale sign, collective information. So just with the development of ourselves growing, you represent 1% here on the sixth heaven. So your dying age, which is roughly between 0 to 120 years old, is less than 1% of what the span of your life should be, and more in the default. That is the default mode. And if you take it out of its default, then this body never, once it's stopped, whatever age you're at, it maintains that. Okay, that is also feedback that we see in our society, is maintaining. So you bring something up to something and then you maintain it. But the only problem with maintaining things at a certain level is that it never goes above and beyond that. And that's like the king and queen. It has its ceiling as far as what a king and queen nation can accomplish. So that's why the United States has a president, and it alternates between the top two political parties, Republicans and Democrats. So the development of the body itself, okay, so if you're going to be a leader of we the people. And that's why the president has to be at the age of 35. It's because what I was just explaining, being a district manager. It's kind of hard to be a district manager when there's a lot of things you don't know to facilitate. So it's very difficult to facilitate something that you're clueless about. And then you have to ask people, workers in that area, what's supposed to be done? And they look at you and say, wait a minute, you're the district manager. You're supposed to be telling us what to do, not us telling you what to do. So just the mere what's here, why people from zero and roughly the longest 120 years old, that is condensed. That is condensed. So in a longer version of it, which would mean into the thousands and 10,000s of years, that this flesh, which is a warfare designed to fight against extinction, and we are considered superior. All life here is a diversity of people coming together in a particular format. Okay, and that's why you have different people in different nations, is to learn different tools in different areas of life. Is you're training to be a leader of leaders. So that's why I would say, as Abraham Lincoln, is everyone has skill sets like Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson, and they're in sports. If they're not fine-tuned, then we'd never hear about Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson or any other sports or any other person out there. Now, these people are fine-tuned and they get paid for their money, or they get paid for their effort, and they get paid well. Okay, so when you get your minimum wage, say it's $7 or $10 an hour, that's your minimum worth. My minimum worth is 7 million. 7 million. So we got million, billion, trillion. 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7. That's my minimum. That's my minimum wage. So I'm at the point in 2017 that all bets are off. I mean, I led the horse to the water. I am not required to stay here, and I'm not required to teach you. But there's certain video that I'm going to put out. Whether I make a dime off of you or not, or I receive a donation from you or not. People are on that take. And then, if you apply that to your checking account, you'll go bankrupt. So I do, and I have set up through my PayPal, if you want to donate or give a love gift to me for any videos that I have, is I'm preparing for departure. I'm not sure when I'm leaving, but basically all my responsibilities and obligations to this planet is done. It's over with. So essentially you could not, if you got all the nations together and all their wealth, you couldn't afford 1 hour of my time. Okay, but because affirmative action and because what was at play, I had to come forth for this teaching aspect of this. So that's where we're at in the timeline. Why I would say certain things as Abraham Lincoln. Why this duly noted 16 is that we're talking about chopping down a tree. Because when you're finely tuned, and you're going to go into being a leader of leaders, or just being a leader of we the people of your nation, there's certain things that you have to know. So that was just an example from going from a cell that you couldn't even see to an adult and then beyond. Because the development, evolution, is never ending. It is just like house chores. It's never ending. So that's why we're talking about these things. And that's where we're at. I'm not under any obligations now. You, at this point, can't afford me. You can't even afford the whole nation together 1 hour's worth of my time. So that's where we're at, or least of worth. And because of affirmative action, for fairness, democracy, taking a horse to the water, but you can't force him to drink. Now, if I take him to the water and I force him to drink, that's the one factor. He didn't have a choice. You had a choice. 3 times you wanted to be here on the 6th heaven. 3 times. So you're here because you have established yourself of being awesome, superior. You're of the human race. So our spirit and all life forms out there, the spirit is all fairly similar. So think of the lottery, the balls, the numbers that come out in identical order, in identical path. You have many combinations. So you have many combinations of people, means spirit. But there's different forms of life. So that is in reference, my quote, in terms of energy, is being able to see a quote, and depending on your evolution, you might see as in reference to a tree. You might see in reference to water management. You might see in reference to your family. You might see, depending on your evolution, you can, with that statement alone, you're able to see in so many dimensions. It's phenomenal. And in the way I teach, now you have to see me at my worst. And that's why I've been doing these videos. If you look in the background, I do not have a teleprompter. Okay. It is because on the 7th heaven, you're rated at your least. Not at your maximum, is at your least. I mean, at the worst of situations, and there's always situations, what can we expect out of you? And that's why in my videos, it might seem unprofessional. You know, it's being used by cell phone, which is a Samsung Note 3. And just the whole nature of this video, you have to see me at my worst. And that's what I provided you, me at my worst. I make $600 a month. I barely have a roof over my head. Okay, so if you want to make a donation, it's not a requirement. It's always appreciated. You would go to paypal.me/E VERETT to make your donation to me, your love gift, your appreciation for my videos that I have come forth to teach you. But duly noted, also in this duly noted 16, I'm not, pardon my French, I'm not required to do shit for you. All the tools, everything has been provided for you. Now you, not to be a thief to you, you have to take the final steps to and want to drink that water. I can't force you. That is also part of democracy. Okay. Now, we also have laws. Okay, basic mean where we have our laws, you don't have the democracy or freedoms. It's like if you kill someone, then you go to jail. We're basing separation. It's not that you're bad. You're here because you're awesome. But if we keep you, it's like putting this one fish among all these other fishes. And you know this fish here just loves to eat. And he'll eat up all the fishes. And that's essentially what a murderer would do. You know, especially out of control murder with no rhyme and reason. You know, when it comes to being a mercenary of energy or God, everything is rhyme and reason and purpose. And justified with facts versus fiction. So that's why with this duly noted, we had to cover this, me as my previous life, Abraham Lincoln, as to why people do things. Look around people. Everything that's in and on this planet is designed to teach a leader of leaders. And you are looking at the top leader of leaders in the physical realms of things. And of course, the leader of leaders, of leaders, of leaders, of leaders, that would be God. Energy, I call energy, or Jehovah, or Allah, or Creator, or whatever you want to call it. So that's why I'm bringing this video. In fact, I don't even need to tell you this video. But I'm also in the preparation of departure. That was the message that I received yesterday. I was hoping to stick around as long as I possibly can. Okay, I've led the horse to the water. Now it's up to you people. You and you, everyone out there. If you want me to stay here, you are going to have to let me know this. There are certain things that have to take place. Otherwise, I'm out of here. I've done my chore, my task, my responsibility as a facilitator, as a leader, as a mentor, as many things. So, with that, we'll end it right here on this duly noted 16A. So, really think about what you're doing. Really think about what you're doing. Really think about what you're doing. Everything on this planet, the sixth heaven, is designed to give you exactly what you wanted. And that's why you're here. That's why so many life forms are here. All this life out there could not develop in evolution all at one spot. Everything was brought here. And that's why you have unalienable rights versus my alienable rights. And that's why a person like me, Abraham Lincoln, can come in and with just the least of effort make such an impact, even in 2016, that still affects you today. And that was just a tip off an iceberg. I wasn't even really trying. You had to see me at my worst, and like you see me now, and say, man, that man is fugly. You know, I know Don Juan. I know Fabio. So that's why it's significant that you see me at my worst. So anything better than this, you'll say, wow, that son of a bitch is awesome. Yeah. Wait until you get to see me at my high level. It puts people in a state of spirituality or a state of energy. You're speechless. You're like, you for a lot of the things is you can't believe what you're hearing. You can't believe what you're seeing. That's the effects when there's such a gap or gaps in evolution. So when that little baby is looking at you and it sees you run across the room real quickly and it can't even, it struggles at crawling. It's looking at you in amazement. Wow. So that's why we bring these things up. And as duly noted, Abraham Lincoln. And I'm not sure how many series of 16A or B or CD, but we're at that stage. I owe you nothing. And I'll be quite frank about it. I do not owe you shit. All the horses have been led to the water. It's your time to put action and energy into going that final distance to the water and drink it. If you don't want to drink it, that's your choice. It's always your choice. And with that, we'll end it right there. Today is December the 3rd, or January the 3rd, 2017. And we have about 7 minutes to 11. So I want to say to everyone out there, all walks of life, first of all, I love you. I care for you. And you say, well, why would you love and care for someone you don't even know? Believe me, I know you. And the reason I do know you is because you're here. So I may not like the things that you have developed in your skill sets in the direction of positive or negative and you taking it destructively. But I do love and care for you all. And hear it and see it in my verbal, non-verbal communication, in the tones of my voice. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. That old quote, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I think I might have screwed that one up. But anyways, have a good day. I appreciate your time. And again, if you want to donate or give back, you can go to paypal.me/capital E VERETT capital PIERCE. And with that, we'll end it right there. Thank you for your time and Godspeed.